Clinton appearing before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee yesterday. They, of course, are considering her nomination as the next Secretary of State. But will Bill Clinton's charity ties trip up her confirmation? Well, we're in the pundit pit today. We have Margaret Hoover, Fox News contributor, Bernard Whitman, former Clinton pollster, former New York senator, and Fox News contributor Al D'Amato, and Jamie Floyd, former policy advisor to President Clinton. All right, since you have ties to Clinton, Jamie, I'm going to direct the questions to you because it seemed like a pretty easy run for Hillary Clinton yesterday. Richard Lugar, a senator, kind of asked some tough questions about the connections between President Clinton's foundation and whether or not that would be a conflict of interest for her.
As he should. They should ask the tough questions, and she should answer them, and she has. The foundation does good work. I don't think it's going to be even a blip in the course of this nomination. It was a warm reception, and I think everyone agrees that Hillary Clinton will be an excellent Secretary of State. I think lawmakers need to do the job they've been put there to do by their constituents, ask those tough questions, but she's got answers on this.
Senator Al, should we be concerned that there would be a conflict of interest when we're looking at some of these foreign nations? These are in the heated part of the world right now.
Well, look, I have to agree. The questions were appropriate. Dick Lugar's a fantastic senator. He even said that while this is something that he's concerned about, he intends to support Hillary. So she's going to get through. John Kerry, who's chairman, also said these were appropriate questions. I think there'll be enough oversight, even though he's agreed to report once a year. I think they'll work out a mechanism where there'll be additional reports. And yes, it's a legitimate question, but it's not going to stop her.
Bernard, one of the things I noticed during the campaign when Hillary was running for president was that oftentimes she said things differently from her husband. They disagreed on certain issues, and sometimes it got her into difficulty, quite frankly, or President Clinton into difficulty. So do you think that they can operate independently? The foundation versus her points of view?
Absolutely. In fact, they've operated independently for years. The hearings were a love fest. And the truth is that this is yet another fantasy of the far right, that somehow we can turn what is an extraordinary opportunity for the country and the world into something horrific for the Clintons.
Okay, wait a minute, Margaret, you got to get in on this. I don't know if this is a far right thing.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is a bigger love fest than the Senate hearings yesterday, but like, this is a group hug, that was a group hug. Look, I don't know if a huge group hug can actually be considered legitimate oversight. There are real questions that need to be asked, but because these are her friends and her committee members, she's not really going to get the real excruciating, intricate looks that anybody else.
We got the pit coming up. We're going to talk about Timothy Geithner as well. Will he pass? Right back. Welcome back to the pit. If you're choosing your cabinet, one of the things you need to make sure of is that they paid their taxes. Well, Tim Geithner, President-elect Obama's choice for Treasury Secretary, no less, has failed to pay more than $34,000 in taxes over several years. We're back in the pit. All right, Al, I know you're fired up about this one, because here's a guy who's going to be in charge of the IRS. It's kind of not ironic. A good mark when you have not paid your taxes. He claims his advisor gave him wrong information.
He's paid, by the way. He's paid.
He's paid it up. Because he had to in order to get confirmed. If he didn't come up for confirmation, he knew about this tax liability. He wouldn't pay it. But he wants to get confirmed. He will get confirmed. The fact of the matter is, Tim Geithner knew that he owed these dollars. Statute of limitations had run on the 01-02 period, so he had no legal liability, but there's no way he would have been confirmed. He will be confirmed because he has done it, because we're in such an economic mess that we can't afford to have someone who's admittedly very talented held up.
This has been my point all morning, though, Jamie. Just hold on for a minute, because my point, and I think, Bernard, you agree with me on this, is that if we were not in this economic mess right now, Tim Geithner would not be confirmed, because people have been derailed for lesser things than this. But because both sides praised him as a brilliant choice, I think he will still be confirmed. Your thoughts?
I agree. And he was truly one bright spot in the economic meltdown in the fall. And I think that the truth is the guy did make a mistake. Like tens of millions of Americans, he owed back taxes, in this case because his employer forgot to pay the payroll taxes. He's paid the taxes now.
No, I think it's the personal responsibility to pay those.
I do believe it's time to move on and get him.
With all due respect to the senator, I don't think it's fair to say that he wouldn't otherwise pay, but for the nomination. He's paid now.
Yeah.
It is impossible to get qualified people that have absolutely no blip on their record whatsoever. We're driving people out of public service nervous because of this kind of...
That's not the argument,
that is the argument.
No.
The man is brilliant. Both sides have agreed that he's brilliant.
I know Tim Geithner. He's a terrific guy, but the fact is...
And he's made full payment plus interest.
Got to get Margaret in here.
Mistake.
Plus, the other thing they're saying is that he hasn't paid taxes on Social Security and Medicare on somebody who worked for him. Look, this happened with Zoe Baird in the Clinton administration.
She didn't make it.
She was the nominee. And it also happened with Linda Chavez, the labor nominee in the Bush administration. Both of them either made it. Frankly, we need a new immigration policy. We need new tax policies in the country. And actually, you're right. Because of the economic crisis and because he was in the cockpit for the last 6 months, people need somebody who was there. They need to know what's going on. So I think he'll be confirmed as well.
All right. The pit. Do we all agree on that? He's going to get confirmed?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
As well as Madam Secretary.
Yes, of course.
As will Hillary Clinton be our
All right.
secretary.
Thanks so much to the pitsters today.
Thank you.